Hi, I'm Gracie Mercedes, and welcome back to Not Blank Enough, a podcast about everyday insecurities and triumphs. In this episode, I'm talking with Sal Stowers, an African-American actress, humanitarian, and winner of America's Next Top Model, talks all about her recent transition to natural hair and Eurocentric standards of beauty. Now, we recorded this episode early during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the audio is a little rough. I sincerely apologize for that, and I certainly hope that you can still enjoy our intimate conversation that Sal and I titled Not Pretty Enough. So hi, Sal. Nice to have you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So tell us how you even ended up on Top Model and a little bit about yourself and your upbringing.
You know, Top Model is crazy. It's so crazy to even think about that it was so long ago now. I think it was like 14 years ago now. It's crazy to think about.
Crazy.
But honestly, one of the casting directors reached out to me on MySpace and was just basically like, would you be interested in coming in for just to meet with us for the show? I wasn't like stoked on doing it, but then my friend at the time, one of my friends was like, oh my God, you should totally do this. Like you would kill this. And she ended up talking me into doing it. And then, I made it onto the show and can't believe I won it. It was great. It was such a crazy experience, but so much fun. So it happened all so quickly. I remember it was like April. I met with them or her, and then I auditioned for it. And then I was filming the show by May.
Oh my God.
It was so quick. But I'm from Northern California. I grew up in a little small town called Madera and been coming back and forth to LA and up north all my childhood because my mom and dad were here in Southern California and I was being raised by my grandmother up north. So I've always been in LA, but just the majority of my childhood, I was raised up north. And I officially came out here my senior year in high school. So like 17, 18, I came down here and I never knew I was going to actually get into modeling and acting. It kind of just happened. It just happened. I thought, honestly, I was going to go into like fashion design.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was really into that. I was into fashion design and I was into forensic science.
I love how different those are.
I know. The most random things that nobody would ever think. Maybe the fashion part, but the forensic part, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole modeling and acting thing kind of just happened and I just ran with it. Because I'm like, okay, I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of led me to Top Model, and Top Model led me into acting and to where I'm at now. So it all kind of just made its way for me. I'm like, happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, speaking of acting, like now you're still on Days of Our Lives, correct?
I am.
And tell us a little about that.
So I've been on Days now for 4 years, maybe 4.5 years. I play a detective. Her name is Lonnie Price. And
so you're basically doing kind of what you wanted to do on TV.
Yes.
I mean, forensic.
Yes. a little bit.
Not the same, but
not so much, but yes.
Yeah, similar.
More extreme over there, but
yeah.
It's been great. I love it there. I love, this soap world. That type of drama is fun. It really allows you to be super creative. So got into modeling. You just happened to be on one of the biggest, or maybe the only show about models on TV that ever existed. And then you also won the show. And then now you're an actress. I know you also do some like physical training stuff now, which is really cool, like personal training stuff. In all these careers that you've had in this like life that you've had thus far, can you talk to me about how many times you have felt not blank enough and what that blank was for you? Yeah, I think I still, feel that way in everything that I do. I think that's something that, us as humans, women, men, it's something that we're always going to always struggle with and have to kind of really work at that personal growth to make sure that we always feel enough in everything that we do. But I think for me, it's funny that we're even having this conversation because I feel like this past year is where I've truly kind of found exactly who I am in this career as a woman. And that's really hard. And it does stem from like finding my voice in acting, finding my voice with humanitarian work, finding my voice with fitness, because that's something that I've definitely made clear over the past year that like this is something that I really want to do. And I love helping people. So for me, being enough for myself has almost kind of stemmed from helping people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're feeling your enoughness basically by helping others.
By helping others and finding that, like shedding light on others, and then somehow that sheds light back onto myself. But I also have done so much personal work on myself.
Mm-hmm. We all have.
Like that personal development work, seeing a life coach, a therapist, and just going to those places within that little girl self of mine that is making me to not feel enough. And I think within this industry that we've chosen to be in, it's one of the hardest careers that really beats at you, and you feel like you're not enough all the time because there's always competition.
Not young enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not talented enough,
all those things, not black enough, not white enough, not this and like all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely beats at you. And now I feel like I'm struggling with it even more because I've decided to do the whole natural thing.
Yeah. For our audience, so Sal is now wearing her hair naturally curly.
Yes.
And this is a really relatively new thing for you because you've always had your hair straight, or did you wear wigs or weaves or?
So the past 2 years, I started wearing a wig for the show because I stopped using all heat on my hair. I wasn't using any type of heat, a blow dryer, chemicals, flat iron, nothing. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do when I'm in that transition phase?
Right. Because when you're on a TV show, they're doing your hair every single day.
Every single day.
Especially a soap opera. Yeah.
Especially a soap opera. They're doing it every day, heat, chemicals, everything. So I started wearing a wig, which was really hard for me because it's just such a different thing. But I knew the goal. So I wore a wig for about 2 years or a year and a half. And then I went into braids. And then the braids I just got out of a month ago. But for the most part, I was always straightening my hair because I've always liked my hair straight. And I've just always felt comfortable straight. And then also with this industry and with the way that they feel that I should look, it's with straight hair.
Let's talk more about that, please. This is juicy stuff because we are both women of color in this industry.
Yep.
We are both lighter skinned Black women. So there's that.
Yep.
We both have naturally curly hair. I also used to wear my hair straight all the time.
Yeah, I met you with straight hair.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think this is such a juicy topic, especially for this podcast, because while we can talk in generals about not enoughness, I really want to get like specific on one thing with you. And I love that you brought this up. And I love that you're going through this right now, because I think a big thing in this industry for women of color, especially, is I want to say not white enough, but also it's almost like a not European standard enough that we have to deal with as women of color.
Yeah.
It's like you're allowed to be brown or Black, but we want you to have long, straight hair, or we want you to have a thinner nose, or we want you to have X, Y, or Z.
Right.
So can you talk to me about that and how that's been in your experience as a model, as an actor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always been a thing. Like, I don't think trying to think if it was, have I ever gotten just to like wear my natural hair through anything? Because even on Top Model, they ended up giving me the short little bob to make me look more high fashion. And, you know, I think with modeling, they have started to embrace natural hair more, because you're seeing a lot more girls wearing like, if it's in a fro or if it's still straight, it's their hair. But I think with TV, I don't know what it is. I don't know why it has become such a thing. And even the pressure that I put on myself right now, just like freaking out about it. Like, well, how am I going to wear this on the show? Like, are they going to let me wear it like this on the show? Can my character can she still be a detective and wear her hair this way? Like, I have so many questions.
Which is crazy, because like a white woman would never have to worry about like changing I guess they can change the color of their hair. They probably still have to ask for permission, but just the idea of like changing your hair maybe standing for not being able to play a certain part.
Right.
Seems crazy.
It is crazy. It is really crazy. And like the thoughts that I've been like battling, it's been a real struggle of just like not really seeing myself as what I'm used to seeing myself. And that's a crazy thing. And I sympathize with every woman who I'm going to say any woman, not just like a woman of color at this moment, just because you could be any race and still kind of battle with how you see yourself.
For sure.
But for me, not really ever dealing with it and now having my hair out and just being like, holy crap, I don't really recognize this woman, and how are everybody else, perceiving it and viewing me now? Like, it's been quite the battle for me. But since I have put it out there, like, I've honestly gotten a great response from it. Like, people just being like, thank you. Like, I'm so happy that you're doing this. And even, fans of mine on the show are really excited, and they're hoping that I'm going to bring it to the show. And even with my braids, which my braids start airing on the show, I think tomorrow.
Oh, cool. So they did let you have braids on the show.
They did let me have braids, and I've gotten such a great response with the braids. Like, our crew loved, everybody loved it. Everyone on the show. And then my fans are super excited because, one, they're like, thank you for bringing, are showing support for the culture and like bringing this on. So I'm really excited about that. It made me feel so good just as a Black woman, because I want my fans to see a part of themselves and me, and I want them to look at my roles and things and be like, okay, this is real. Like, she's just like me, or it's relatable. You want to be relatable.
They can see themselves in you.
Yes.
Instead of a version of you that might be dictated by what, we've all been told is pretty, or what we've all been told is okay for TV or for a cop role.
Exactly. And then, look, do I think I'm never going to probably wear wigs again? No, because I'm most likely going to have to now, even more, because I don't want to put heat on my hair, but I want to be as authentic to who I am as possible. Like, I haven't done all this work on myself to hide and to be afraid of opinions of others, or not booking a job because I look like this or because my hair is like this. It's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to live like that. It's not a good way to live. Like, life's too short for that. But now with this industry, I do struggle with feeling like, oh, great, people are not going to see me as beautiful as they used to, or like, it's a sucky feeling.
Yeah. So let's, oh God, this is bringing up so much stuff for me because, we've had similar paths. Mm-hmm. And I do think you made a really great distinction. Like, I think it's one thing to say, hey, I'm wearing my hair natural now because I want to, and I want to embrace this part of me. But I think it's also equally okay to say, just because my hair is natural today doesn't mean I'm not going to blow it out tomorrow if I feel like blowing it out tomorrow. Because I still go back and forth on that.
And with, being actresses, like, what if a role like an amazing role comes around and it requires for your hair to be a certain way? You don't want to not do that role because of your hair. That's why the wigs do come up or play a part of it. And there are options. So I don't want to say like, I'm never going to not do those things, because I most likely am, because I'm a storyteller and we play different roles, and that causes for your hair to be different.
And everyone has to wear wigs. Like, men have to wear wigs.
Yeah, everybody. My thing with finally embracing my natural hair is like, I don't want to claim to be so, authentic to myself and then not show my true self or be afraid of it. I don't want to put that out there. It's not fair to myself. It's not fair to people who,
watch the show, look up to you.
Yeah, watch the show, look up to me, and they're like, oh, well, she wears weaves or wigs, or she doesn't show her natural hair. And yes, there's all about protecting it, because I do want to protect it and keep it healthy, because our hair is very delicate, and especially these coils, man. I'm learning so much about this hair.
Well, it takes time. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I know we were supposed to have like a little personal conversation about going natural.
We still have to do it.
Yeah. But I think honestly, we can discuss some of this now, because it's such a big deal for for girls like us. And it's such a thing and it's really hard and it takes time. And I mean, I'm really excited that people are embracing it more now because I think little girls now are just growing up with natural hair. So they're not going to know any different. But in our generation, like in our parents' generation, our moms,
they didn't know.
They didn't know. And they were taught to straighten, relax, blow out, whatever the case may be. I'm Dominican. So I went to a Dominican hair salon in New York every week.
Yep.
My whole life until I went natural.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And you get so used to that experience and you get so used to seeing yourself that way that for me, it was the same thing. It took so long for me to get used to my curly hair and it always felt like a different person. And now I kind of love the fact that I can look one way with curly hair, one way with straight hair. I put my hair up a lot. I'm thinking about getting braids this summer. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's only been a month. It's been just a month since I had my braids out and I got my hair cut. Don't know if I should have said that, but I did get to see. I did actually get some curl tips from Shy.
Oh, nice.
So he's been like helping me out, but it's still like, for example, yesterday I do my wash day. And let me tell you, everybody, this wash day is a thing. I don't know.
It is a thing. And you mentioned Shy. We should probably like shout out Shy so people know what we're talking about. So for all you curly hair girls out there, especially if you live in LA, because he's based out in LA, he's been coined the curl doctor. And he's a hairstylist at Capella Salon in Los Angeles. And he is fantastic with curly hair. He did my quote unquote big chop.
Yeah.
And and he's been maintaining my curls ever since.
Yeah. Shy has given me a lot of peace of mind because I was just like, "Ooh, this ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work."
So if we're gonna like dive deeper into this like thought of like, and I think yes, it's very prevalent in TV and acting, modeling, but this is a universal thing for women in general.
Yeah,
women of color specifically with hair, but I think women in general with hair and women in general feeling not enough. And usually I think that big red flag is like not feeling pretty enough or not feeling beautiful enough. What would you say to that? Which one resonates for you?
It's like, I know my face hasn't changed. Like my face is still the same, but like for some reason, I don't know if it's this industry, what we see on TV, but like having the way that the hair frames your face, it makes you feel that you're either more feminine or more beautiful. And maybe that's what kind of resonates with me. And it breaks my heart to say that because I know that that's not true. Like I know that I am a beautiful woman and it has nothing to do with my hair, but I'm just so used to seeing myself that way that sometimes looking in the mirror, like I had to film something for work today and I put makeup on because I'm like, you know what, Sal, fake it till you make it. Like just do what you gotta do, put a little makeup on, you're good. So I did that, but it's just, it just didn't feel the same. So it's still like this trying to get used to it, but it still feels so foreign to me. It's like in the back of my head, like I know I'm going to be okay, but I would be lying if I said I do miss having my straight hair. It's just what I've been doing it that way my entire career. I'm so used to that, but I truly am trying to find the balance with my natural hair and not freak out with it because it is beautiful and I do love it. And I know there's so many girls would love to have this hair or wish that their hair could do this. And the things that we can do with our hair is incredible. But I have definitely felt not enough for sure. Because even with the braids, they were so long. They were so very pretty. People still saw me in this way. And now with coming out of the braids and just having my hair,
I know you're getting emotional, but I love that because it's so real. I wish people could see you. I mean, it's a podcast, so they can't see your beautiful face and your tears right now in your eyes. But I think there's also a difference between feeling like you're enough, like I'm enough. I can feel like I'm enough. I can feel like I'm enough of a person to exist in this world type of thing. But there's still going to be days when I don't feel pretty enough or that I don't feel smart enough or I don't feel funny enough. So it's like you feel overall like you are enough as a person, as a human, but still have those days where like, oof. And especially for you where it's something so new.
So new.
You spent your whole life looking one way.
Yeah.
And getting used to one thing. And now all of a sudden it's this whole another thing. And so it totally makes sense. I've had those moments. I still have those moments.
Yeah. And then also I think being quarantined doesn't make it any better either, because I'm stuck in the house with myself. And then you have like social media and everybody, even being quarantined, you still see people who are still trying to just be so perfect. And like, that it's not real, but then you can't help but like feel a certain way. Or for myself, like it just makes me feel a certain way. And then I've like backed away a lot from social media because I've been having all of these feelings, and I haven't really been, I think I did one post about my natural hair and that's it, because I've just been so overwhelmed with it and not liking how it looks. And like, I don't want to show that, or being afraid of like showing it, or like, what are people going to think? And then it's like, Sal, what the fuck, excuse my language, but like, who the fuck cares what everybody thinks? Like, I'm amazing. My hair is amazing. Like, I am enough, but dang, like I really do struggle with it right now. I haven't ever struggled with it this much as I have now. And I think that's because of just who I am at my core. And I all the work that I've done on myself, like it just kind of hit me really hard. It's that little girl coming out.
Isn't that interesting though? Like, think about your life, right? And the stuff we've already talked about. Like,
yeah,
you were a contestant on a modeling show. Right? And you would think that would be the moment where you feel like, holy shit, am I pretty enough?
Right.
Right. To win this, to be competing against all these other women who are beautiful. Every single one of them was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But not then were you maybe thinking that, or maybe you were, but right now in this adult life, adult stage where you're going through this like massive change and you look so different. But that also to me is like such a testament to how brainwashed we could all be about like ideals of beauty and what we see, what we grow up seeing, and how strong that is and how important it is for young girls now to be able to see people like you and so many people out there wearing their hair natural, or in braids or straight, or just having the freedom to say, I want to wear my hair like this today, tomorrow, the next day, and not have to worry about not getting a job because of it or being looked at as like not professional enough.
Yeah. And it's so heartbreaking. It really is. And even when I think back to Top Model, when they did the whole makeover where I got like the short bob, I do remember crying all the time with that, just because it was so different. It was like a short bowl type of a bob. And
I remember it so well because I loved it. Like I wanted to cut my hair like
that. I had no idea what to do with it. And I was so insecure. And yes, I was surrounded by all these beautiful girls. And I did have to go. I remember this. I had to go to a place within myself of just being like, fuck this hair, Sal. The hair can come off when you're done. Like it's a wig or a weave. Like you can take this off when you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in here and you got to show them that like you can still kill this show with this hair. So I did find this drive within myself. I've always been really good at that. And that's going to come out even with this, as like, I'm like still choking, like my throat is still tight from talking about this, because it's a trigger.
Sensitive.
Yeah. It's a very sensitive topic. And I know that's going to happen. Like there's going to be a day where I wake up and I'm just like, girl, get it together. Like you're fine, like pineapple this stuff up and do what you got to do,
Yeah.
But on the good side of it, like people are excited for me. Like there are like, I've gotten messages of people being like, whoa, this is the most beautiful I've ever seen you. Like the best hair I've ever seen. My manager is like, this is the look, like this is it. And I would have never thought that. So I do have that on the good side of it, is just internally that little girl side of me who feels like she's not enough if her hair is not straight and long, or if she doesn't have a swoop in front of her face, that she's not going to be liked, or she's not going to book the job, or she's going to be made fun of like she was made fun of when she was younger. Like all of those things kind of come up. So that's the struggle with it. I know.
I'm like feeling it's bringing up my shit too.
It's heavy. Like
it is. It's just so crazy how our hair is just it's just at the end of the day it's like just hair. But for us, I think it's more than that. I think just because of the history behind it and what we were brought up to believe, and compared to what's out there now. So the good news is it's changing.
It is changing. I think, was it last year or maybe like 2 years ago, where I believe California was the first state to pass the law that like women, mostly African-American women, would not be
discriminated against because of their hairstyles.
Yeah, discriminated for getting a job because of their hair, which is crazy to think that it took this long for that to happen. But it is a thing. Like in the Black community, hair is a really big, it's our crown. It's everything.
Mm-hmm. And it is in the Latin community as well. And it's funny in the Latin community because of the colorism between white Latinx and Black Latinx. And we are still taught to have the long, straight hair, even if your hair is naturally curly or kinky or coily or whatever the case may be. You're brought up to think, no, you have to have it straight and you have to have it long. Mm-hmm. And I think it's funny because you were talking about how the braids felt great. So it might more be a thing about long hair versus short hair.
Yeah.
And short hair not feeling pretty or short hair not feeling feminine enough. Because I think I struggle with that as well.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like I am a very feminine woman. I'm a very girly girl. And going into this new look I haven't really felt that way.
I love that this has brought us to the topic of hair, and especially for women of color and natural hair, and how that experience is from childhood to adulthood. Whether or not you work in the entertainment industry doesn't really matter. It's still the same kind of issue of not feeling like pretty enough.
Yeah.
I think not feeling pretty enough is kind of the overall theme.
Yeah. Not even just like with the industry too, but like how men view us this way. Like, we're so used to thinking men just want like long, or they prefer long, beautiful hair on a woman, mm-hmm. which is it's not true, but it's just like in our head, it's just like not feeling pretty enough to the world, which is just it's not true. And like, it just really makes me so sad. And I'm trying not to beat myself up about it because this is life. I'm going through this now. Who knows in a year there might be something else that I'm battling with. It's just something that I wasn't expecting. I'm very proud of myself of how I'm embracing it. Cause I'm like, you know what? This is me. This is my hair. This is who I am. And that's it. Like really trying to just embrace every part of it. And like, I'll be in the shower and I'll be talking to my hair. I just call her. I say, I'll be talking to her. I'm telling her like, she's beautiful. I'm beautiful. Just giving myself so much self-love, because at the end of the day, that's that little girl, Sal. Like it makes a difference though, when you like embrace all of who you are, and just really talking to my little girl self and just making sure that she is loved and is getting everything that she needs. Cause I think a lot of us, we don't take care of that person. That little girl, that little kid is in all of us, and it needs to be nurtured in all of us. And I think for me, it's been my hair and feeling enough, feeling worthy enough, or just feeling worthy, just feeling that I'm still going to be accepted, even though I don't have my long hair anymore. Like I'm still going to be accepted with my fro.
And you're still beautiful.
And I'm so beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is amazing. And it's like humbling to know that, someone as gorgeous as you can also feel this way. And someone who's literally won a modeling competition can also feel this way. It's beautiful. It's we all go through it. We all go through it. Doesn't matter who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. Like we try to like push away. Like I've been having to face it, and it's hard. It's hard.
It is. So to close out, I would love if you can just we talked about so many juicy, beautiful things. If you have any, I don't know, words of wisdom, last words for our audience.
Yeah. One thing that I really tell myself, and I've just been saying this throughout the entire podcast, but you are enough. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are worthy. We are all brought into this world the same way. We're all going to leave this world somewhat the same way. We're all going to die. You are capable of all things, no matter how you look, how your hair is, your skin color, you're capable. You just have to be the one to decide that you are, and trust that you are, and believe that you are. And These are all the things that I tell myself all the time, even now, constantly, because honestly, no one else is going to be able to really make you feel these things and do these things. You have to ultimately decide for yourself. Like, I write on little postcards and all things around my house, just being like, I believe in myself. I'm enough. I love you. Affirmations. I'm just always kind of doing that, because when you feel certain ways, it's hard to wake up and want to go conquer the world. You have to just really look in the mirror and be like, I love you. You got this. You're fucking magical. Like, you're powerful. You're beautiful. You got this. So it's just knowing that, and also knowing that we all go through the same thing in some form or another. We all go through the same thing.
It's a universal feeling.
You're enough. You're strong. You're brave. You're beautiful. You're enough. So that is my love to everyone else.
I love you. Thank you for doing this.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Not Blank Enough. Until next time, please take care of yourself and others, and know that you are more than enough. Check the show notes for links and info about today's guest. Please subscribe to Not Blank Enough wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on Instagram at Not Blank Enough Pod. Our show today was produced by Gracie Mercedes and Dave Hill, and edited by Douglas Sarine and Colleen Beasley. Not Blank Enough is a Gumption Pictures production.